but this is now my fucking show. Cool.
Bro, they're trying to master hertz. And you're talking HZs. That's hard.
Kill. You know what I'm saying? To me, poetry stems not just in the conventional sense.
One of these mornings, I'm gonna rise up singing. I'ma spread my wings and take to the sky, until a morning. There ain't nothing that can harm you. No, with mommy and daddy standing by you. My dad is the DJ, but it's my head that spins like one of his records, recollecting the times I'd watch Papi get so high I was afraid he would die. In denial, frozen in the aisles of his unprocessed grief, he's scratching on the vinyl scars no one else can see, cause in his mind, on repeat is when his no good of a daddy screamed, mijo, mijo, don't you dare go looking for me. And from that day, my daddy's fate was to become DJ, digging through crate after crate, hoping the next song to play would turn the tables on his pain. Digging through crate after crate, hoping the next song to play would finally turn the tables on his pain. I mean, my daddy, he tried everything, and as Gloria Gaynor would sing that we will be the ones to survive when they be the ones to leave. The absence of a father, like an abscess, made his wounds wonder, who would I be if the shattering blues had never tainted me? And my daddy's painful past, his unhealed halves, yeah, they made me grow up way too fast, but able to understand why we get ourselves so damn high, why we sacrifice the symphonies of our lives begging to be swallowed back up by the sky. See, my daddy never really wanted to die. He just needed the pain to be quiet instead of riot. But there's one thing for certain. There is an evolutionary power in music, but baby, it is up to us to actively use it. Let me show you how every track cut too soon has led me to this divine volume, showed me how to master my hurts. Now I produce my own truths. Every time I cut a loop, I thought I was doomed to repeat because me, oh honey, I have to bloom out of these boundaries. Mimic the sounds of ancient flowing creeks because I heard myself. I found my sound in the echo of a mountain's peak, and it is the natural mystic blowing through the air that is a lullaby that soothes me. So watch me and my tales as we spill out of JBLs. Watch these walls that dare confine us shake from every reverb of my whimsical rebirth. I'm gonna sing out loud the secrets that tried to take me but never did taint me. When I remix like a phoenix into break beats and boom baps, I'm an immortal ass track. Transcending pain into purpose, rhythm, and flow. Transcending pain into purpose, rhythm, and flow. Yeah, my father is the DJ, but this is now my show.
Woo! And we're back. Yes, we are.
We back.
Another episode of Kill the Poet. We have the multi-talented, the
Illustrious.
multi-faceted,
Let's go.
the always incredible and beautiful Magdalena, and her piece, DJ's daughter. Now, man, where do I even start? So, my favorite thing about that piece is your structuring of it. The fact that you're the DJ's daughter and you are looping in songs and everything like that, it really brings the entire thing together. Like it keeps it in its own contained world, essentially. My one question is, like, you talk about your father DJing and, you know, him telling you don't go there, don't talk to me, and he's, you know, you're there and everything like that. Obviously, this comes from real life experience, but when were you ready to, like, put pen to paper and really, like, express that?
Well, in that particular part of the poem, it's actually his experience that he revealed to me when I was like a young adult, which made me like make sense of a lot of the shit that like he had done, and make me aware of like the weight that he's been carrying while trying to be human and trying to be father and trying to be like responsible for kids. So yeah, that was when his dad told him stop looking for me, and when I heard that, I was like, damn, that's tragic. How could you tell your own child that? And it made me respect him because he never told me that, and he could have carried that cycle.
Did
right?
he tell you the story?
Yeah,
how
he
that
did
went
tell
down?
me the story.
How much of that can you tell us?
Like, it is a hard ass story that it makes me feel for him a lot. But one time we were just chilling. I was actually like smoking my stuff, and he was sipping, and he told me this shit. And he was like 9 years old when his dad told him that.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So it's really interesting because one thing that, you know, you're talking about being the DJ's daughter, and you're talking about what your dad's dad said to him. It makes me wonder, what did your dad's dad do? Like, what was his thing? Like, was he a DJ too, or like?
Nah, he was just not present in my dad's life, so my dad doesn't know much about him except that he was wealthy enough to take care of my father, but chose actively not to.
I see.
Yeah, because my dad's from Puebla, Mexico, and he just like abandoned him over there.
And it's like, just the thing I'm thinking about is cycles, right?
Exactly.
You know, all of those things, and I mean, obviously that's part of the reason why you showed that contrast of like your dad's dad telling him that, and then you observing, you know, what your dad is doing. Now, when going through cycles, right? I'm trying to get my.
You know, my poetry has helped me like process all the cycles. I feel like I'm the kind of the historian in my family, because people confide in me to tell me their stories, and I see the patterns in them, and like the awareness is heavy, but I channel it in a positive way through my poetry. Like one, poetry helps me understand it, and then I see the levels to it. So then like I see how I participate in certain things. I can take accountability for certain things, and then like take away power from other parts. So me telling like this painful part that my dad will only confide in me when he's on a certain level of feeling like comfortable with being vulnerable, and I can do it like on purpose when I want to, with purpose because I want to. It's like I'm rewriting the narrative for both of us, because he can't right now, but he raised me a certain way where I can now. So we stop in cycles because the cycles end with us, you know.
So real quick, do you have a bigger family that you're in contact with, or?
I have a huge ass family technically, and then like, because my life has been kind of like the Maury show and shit. Like, you are not the father. And so like now I have even more family, and I already had a big ass family because like we're Mexican. Okay, we know how to procreate pretty well. And so I have a big family, but I never felt like I could really talk to all of them up until recently through the confidence I got in poetry.
Yeah.
Like giving me confidence in my story because I used to gaslight myself.
Yeah.
So now we've been reconnecting and it's beautiful.
So when you were ready to even write this poem, this is semi-recent, right? Like,
I was trying to remember earlier today when I wrote the poem because I felt like you're gonna ask me, and I couldn't remember. But I feel like it was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Can't
okay.
5 years ago, yeah.
No,
the
that-
overthinker.
Hey,
It works
that's
out
hard.
sometimes.
I know that makes sense, especially when you're all at the same time. But when so say it's 4 years ago, how long have you been performing, or at least sharing yourself being vulnerable?
Yeah. See, I've been writing since I was like 8 years old. I'm 28 now. And I've been sharing since I was 22 years old. And that's when my life has really like started this whole fucking new chapter of feeling like I'm in my Matilda era, Harry Potter shit, like manifest and fuck the rest, and doing new things like this. So the 6 years have been fast and very transformative.
Wow. And through that, you were able to reconnect with the DJ. You were able to see the repeats.
Damn, you should put that in a poem. Oh my God. If you were to do that in a poem, and then the poem would do that to you. Oh,
You can go ahead and have that one. go ahead.
Oh man,
and
thank
all
you.
that
You know
one.
what? We'll honor you.
Man, being a
How are you guys doing that? What? Is there a turntable in your throat? Oh, there it was.
Funny. So now, right?
Can't believe
you're now at this point, and I just have to say, because like part of the reason why we even started this podcast is
Podcast.
Part of the reason why we started it is because everybody writes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has something in their notes app, and the question is like, who chooses to share and why? You know, and as you just kind of described, like you found yourself in a new headspace, a new way to express yourself, and not only did you find that, but it helped you reconnect with people that are near and dear to you.
Yeah.
You know, so like I just need because I realize we don't talk about why we even do this. And it's like exactly what you said is exactly why we do this.
Yeah.
Because it's real. It's healing.
You like reconnect to yourself, and all the other pieces follow up. You know, because sometimes you feel unconnected to things, but I'm reminded that we're always connected, because as long as we seek the connection, it's like a matrix of shit, you know?
No,
like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Then you're always connected. If you want to be connected, you're already connected. Know
I'm
that.
curious.
You don't have to like doubt yourself.
I'm curious where your inspiration started. Did it start with your family as well? Did it start with yourself? Did it start outside your family? Like where'd you where'd you start?
I think reading really saved me when I was a little girl, like, because you could travel to different times, and you could travel to different places. It's like an escapism, a healthy form of escapism.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've always had a very strong sense of imagination, so it's left me like really open to great artists. But Maya Angelou, shout out Mama Angelou, she was the first poet that I ever really connected with, and I was like, 7, 8 years old, raiding my Nina's library. I was reading like The Color Purple and shit, like in secret, because I knew like she was like, you can't read that yet,
It is a little spicy.
And reading Maya Angelou, because I was connecting to this stuff, because I was already witnessing a lot of this heavy shit, but not talking about it. And Dr. Seuss was not talking about it for me. He was like, one fish, two fish. I'm like, no, drug rape.
You feel like
more shit than that.
You feel like your life was actually like more inspiration to you off rip than like what you saw from Maya and what you saw on the bookshelf and shit.
Yeah, like Maya Angelou made me feel seen, and then it led me down that rabbit hole of feeling connected through words and truth. Feeling seen, yeah. Like ugly truths is what I call them. Like we need people to tell these ugly truths, because there's people like holding it in and dying and drowning with them.
You know what I find super interesting about like that concept of like feeling seen, because it's part of the reason why people love poetry and going to poetry events. Like, even if they don't do poetry, they'll hear pieces and it's like, oh my god, that's me. You know, like they feel it. And like I've said this before, like on previous episodes, like it's like taking an emotional dump and feeling lighter. But at the same time, like, for the person that's writing as well, not only do you feel lighter, you get to look at yourself, like, for real. Especially if you write a piece, right, and you really liked it. Years go by, you look at it again and you really like it, but not only are you able to see that snapshot of that mirror at that time,
yeah, time capsule.
It's like other people that hear it also see themselves too. And I don't know, like, it's part of my, it's like magic. Like, I love it.
It's what I love about the open mics too. Like, that was the difference. I was always writing poetry, but I went to the open mics and I found these like safe spaces. Shout out Palms Up Academy. Shout out to Poetry Lounge. Yeah. Alivio. Like, they just gave me the platform to hear myself for the first time. And when you hear yourself for the first time, it's amazing. Like, you hear and you are heard. And I was thinking about it the other day. Like, when we touch, we are also being touched. So like, that's the connection and the feeling. You know?
As above, so below.
Yeah, and you can't be afraid to feel something, and that's what who you meet at these open mics.
Yeah, when you're standing on like a flat plane when you jump, like, obviously there's the force of you going up from you pushing up the ground, but there's also the force of the earth pulling you down as well. You know, balance, yin and yang.
So, yeah, you don't know if it's falling or flying.
Facts. So at what point, this is kind of a question for both of y'all. At what point does it become not for you and for someone else?
When it's fire. Like, when you write it and you're like, you're no longer like emoting and you're no longer like being vulnerable. But
I want y'all to like describe what that feeling feels like, and also the moment that you decide, if you can describe that, the moment that you decide that it's no longer yours, and now it belongs to the people and the people that you perform it to, etc.
I think it's always like for both of us at the same time. Okay. Right, like it's for them and for me.
Cheating your way out of that question,
but like because but I open myself up like that for myself. Like, it's a good selfish reason, you know, because I crave to be open. Like, because I think we're naturally born vulnerable, but then we harden up because that's what we're taught. But when we can be vulnerable, like, it feels so comfortable and it feels so revitalizing. But the poem is always gonna be for me, like, because you have to do it for your fucking self, because then it's like performing, and I don't really feel like I perform. I feel like I just share.
Yeah, there's I don't remember which jazz musician it was, but I remember there's a quote. It was essentially like they were asked, because I think jazz, it wasn't like it was new, but it was like the interviewer was like, why like, for the jazz musician, are they creating for the crowd or are they creating for themselves? And the musician responded, and he was like,
"We're fucking jamming."
No. Yeah. He said that it's always for the audience, always. But the first audience member is the artist.
Yeah,
you know,
that makes sense.
So it's like, if the artist, as the first audience member, is like, nice. Because
you gotta stick with your own shit.
No, but exactly what you were saying about being vulnerable and everything, like, exactly that. But there's also, I mean, there's been times when I've been vulnerable on the page, and yes, I'm being vulnerable, but it's not like a thing where I'm like, I don't know if I really want to share this, which is, you know, fine, you know. But there are also other pieces where it's like I'm being vulnerable, and it's like, yeah.
I think, like, I just love, because I've always felt kind of vulnerable and, like, soft in a world that wanted me to be hard. So the poetry is very intentional. Like, I get to be vulnerable and I flourish in it. Like,
and you feel
like I don't even have a choice. Like, I start and it's like I open up something and it's water that flows through me, you know. and I love it. I'm addicted to it. That's why I'm
No, yeah.
chunky
Hey,
writing junkie.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you. It's a beautiful thing. Now, one thing that I love about your style, because in this poetry thing, there's
It's just the style.
yeah. What's your style?
Wild style.
Oh, you can't match my style.
Hey.
Anyway, my favorite thing about how you get down, right? Is
Get down. Get down. I'm sorry. That's the DJ in my head.
there's a lot of people that would like sing in their pieces and everything like that. But as you said, it's the DJ in you.
It never stops, actually.
Yeah, no,
That's why I mean,
so-
like, I finally have a place to channel it with my poetry, because I do it unintentionally.
Yeah.
When I'm up there, people are like, I understand it. I'm like, oh, yeah, this is just sometimes. It's not all the time.
Yeah.
Me?
But my question is, when you first really started writing and sharing, were you also singing? Like, did that
it took
come
me
naturally?
like a couple open mics, like 2, because I was ready. Like,
Okay.
I've been singing. I'm a closeted
Nice.
singer. Like, I was singing in the shower. I was singing alone on walks and shit.
Yeah.
I would even have to pretend I was on my phone, which I didn't even have a phone at the time when I started doing all this shit. So I was spinning around the trees on the street, like doing musicals in my own head, and then
Yeah.
I started getting like self-conscious. I'm like, let me pretend I'm on the phone, because that'll make it look
Yeah.
way better. Oh, she's just a passionate conversationalist. Oh, literally, like, the heels are live.
She about her business.
Yeah.
She about her business. Damn, she
Making
always
up
got something going
scenarios
on.
and thinking about what someone's gonna
Damn.
ask me in 5 years about an interview.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
that's fine.
Like all these voices.
Well, wait. So I apologize if we talked about this already, but like, what got you like practicing it then?
Practicing it. I did grow up doing speech and debate and being like a thespian in high school and doing
Okay.
plays, and people would forget their fucking lines, and I would start ad-libbing and shit on stage and just
Okay,
kind of going
bet.
crazy,
That's so
taking
funny.
up like my space slowly like that.
Yeah.
But what got me into doing it was it's gonna be Matthew Cuban and Alicia Wise. I took
Yo,
a slam
shout
class with them. It was spoken word workshop, and that shit just like they brought
So-
out. They were like, "We know you've been wanting to do this," and I'm like, "You're so fucking right." And then I
Yeah.
just never went back, because they're phenomenal spoken word artists who don't perform either. It's just them speaking their truth and doing it so confidently.
And that's us.
I respect that.
Street poets, right?
Street poets, yeah,
Nice.
they're part of that right now.
But the philosophy of not performing and just being
Yeah, it's not
on
performing.
stage, like that to me is what I resonate with. I hate the idea of even just being, okay, I'm doing this for,
Yeah.
and it's like I love that. Yeah.
I like that too. That's why, like, I am grateful for all the emotions and things I was exposed to. Like, people will
sharing
call it
that.
trauma, but
Yeah.
I turn it
Yeah.
into triumph. You
Yeah.
know, it's
Yeah.
really channeling that shit.
The idea of sharing.
Doesn't
Connecting
that-
to people.
Doesn't that feel so good?
Oh,
Like,
it feels like magic. Like, I feel like
Yeah.
Harry Potter, and that's why I've been
Yeah.
trying to get that broom to move.
Yeah.
But it won't.
That's right.
It won't.
Facts.
Like, broom, broom.
Facts right there.
No, I'm just kidding.
No, I
No,
love
but it's
that. I
modern
love it.
magic, believing in yourself, and that's what the spoken word has given me. I'm like, oh yeah, I am that poet and that daughter and this and that creator all the time. Like, right.
And with that, I just have to say, go ahead and look at that camera. Let those people know where they can find you, Miss Magdalena.
You can find me on. No, I'm just kidding. No, Figgy.
You're crazy. You're crazy. Hey, yo.
Hey, you already know where. Hey,
On
you already know where to
IG.
find us. So go ahead.
My
go
bad.
ahead,
No,
go
no,
ahead.
please
No, you
go.
got it.
Cut
Go
me
ahead.
off. Cut me off.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. It's your show.
Okay.
It's your show. It's your show. Go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
can find me on respectable Instagram at the Chunky Writing Junkie, DA Chunky Writing Junkie, because we addicted to the flow. And that's all. And then at church, but that's
Yeah,
it.
you know who we are. Hey, thanks for tuning in, y'all. Have a great day, great night.